Hello! Welcome to another Sunday, another day to play Final Fantasy IX. Picking up on our adventure, we are going to just jump right into it after we've just had dinner with our good friend, our new friend, Aiko. And we'll see what her secret is, we'll see what her story is. And at the same time, we'll also find out what the heck I'm talking about by taking down the Iifa tree. Okay, so let's get into it. So the last thing that we were doing when we were playing this game was we were spending some time having dinner, I guess, with Aiko, our new main party member. She's a 6-year-old girl who can somehow, some way, summon eidolons or eidolons like Garnet can. So we finished that, and everybody's kind of in their feels right now. Garnet's in her feels, Vivi's in his feels. You know, everybody's just vibing out, and we're just, chucking on along. So I think what we need to do now is we basically need to say it's nap time. It's time to go to bed. But here we have Vivi being depressed because although he's technically like less than a year old, he's got like the mentality and like strength of a kid. And he's just wondering how she can deal with all that at the same time. So we're talking to our good friend Momatos to head on down to Dreamland. And we get this moment between Zidane and Vivi. And they're like, we're leaving, like we gotta go. Interestingly, if you look far to the left, you can see that Aiko's just sitting there too. She's having the same kind of moment. And the two of them are talking about, the fact that Vivi just witnessed members of his species that they might be manufactured species, but they're still alive. And they have a concept of dying. And he's just like, I don't want to die, which is both a thing regular people go through and, of course, an existential thing for a kid to realize that death is possible for them, too. What's interesting is this quote from Zidane of like either you do or you don't, like makes a resurgence in Final Fantasy 13 by their protagonist Lightning, where she's like, you either live or die. Which kind of actually brings up an interesting thing the other day. I was reading some kind of article that was like, we only feel one emotion. We just have one, it's love. And what we feel or how we feel, it just depends on the severity of it. So if it's little, maybe you're happy, maybe you're feeling good, but the absence of love is pain and torture and all that stuff. And I think that's a way too easy of a simplification of emotions. But at its core, I guess there is like a purpose of saying like keep moving forward. And then during this complete serious conversation about the life force and like continuing on, you've got Aiko who's had her massive crush on Zidane, and she's like, he's the one! And she can obviously hear everything he's saying. But interestingly, they can't hear her. I guess she must be whispering to herself. For me, this next scene, I don't know if I'd agree completely with Zidane about this being an age-old ritual between male friends. But effectively, they're doing a little something. Separately, but a little something. And I'll let y'all interpret what that is, but not very much going to elaborate on what the two of them are doing. Over the edge here. That only, quote, male friends can do. Now Garnet is finally figuring out that like she's got some business to attend to with Aiko and understanding where her heritage comes from. Now, of course, we can see Aiko in the corner, and she's like, I'm coming along. You can't stop me. I might be 6, but I'm coming. And she's like, of course I need to come because you need me. Now, what's interesting is we now have 5 party members. And so instead of allowing us to just select which ones we want in battle, they've like conveniently left Quina a very weak reason of like, oh, they're gonna stay behind and cook or something. Hello, Morrison. Of course we'll look after her, of course. So before we head on over to the Iifa tree, we're just gonna double check everybody's stats, make sure we're in a good place, ensure that everybody is learning something, if they can. It seems like Garnet has learned almost every single thing she can possibly know. So it might be a little harder for her to do much. But that's okay. Still learning something here. And so as we're taking a look at each of these things, like as a reminder, the abilities at the bottom right are the things that you can learn when they're lit up, and only when they're mastered with the star symbol can you unequip that equipment piece, like the staff or the hat, and then still have access to that ability. Okay, looks like we're good to go. And so we're off. So we've got to head on back through the pass. Fortunately, we found all of our lovely treasures here already, so that's nothing to worry about. And what another great thing is that we now have 2 healers, and at this point in the game, magic still has like a lot of use from like a destructive standpoint. So Vivi's like gonna come in clutch here. I just so wish that, so like Vivi just went into trance there, and it's a great ability being able to cast black magic twice in the same turn. But now that the battle's over, even though they were in trance, it just immediately is going to reset back to 0. And it really sucks because that ability's great. I think they kind of learned that it was kind of important to avoid that kind of mechanic in future Final Fantasy games. So like in the game right after this one, Final Fantasy X, characters don't have trance mode exactly. They have something called an overdrive. And, a bar does fill up. It fills up a few different ways. But the most important part about the bar is that you decide when you want to use it. So it's full, you can use it whenever you want. But once you use it, it resets back to 0. So you can save it for like a really great boss battle, or like if there's like a tough part coming up. So just like a few different reasons why you might want to do this. As we come up onto the Iifa tree's branches here, we can see that they're pointing out like this is where all the mist comes from. This is the thing that is pumping its, like regular plants are changing carbon dioxide to oxygen, like this thing is producing whatever it is from the air, all this mist that somehow gets all the way down to the mist continent. And right now we've got some type of um, we've got a type of seal on the way that's like kind of blocking what is letting us in, and that's because earlier today, uh, earlier in the game, earlier last week, Iiko pointed out that they tried to summon something here and it didn't really go well. So, in order to stop it, they had to seal it to prevent the energy from coming out. And so Iiko's like, okay, to remove the seal, we're just going to summon it correctly this time. So Iiko is summoning whatever this entity is. And we've received a ruby. And clearly we have a very dramatic 6-year-old. And Dagger's reflecting on the fact that she didn't hear anything. Where she can summon Eidolons, but she doesn't have a horn. She doesn't have a way to communicate like that. And since we got a ruby, we have a few different kinds of stones. The stones are what train the summoners in their ability to summon things. So we can see that Carbuncle is attached to the ruby, and Iiko specifically can learn to summon it. So once we master Fenrir here, the other active ability that's on screen will switch to that. We're on the way to climb this tree and figure out what's up. Okay, we've walked 4 screens now and haven't come into a single battle. It's a little unsettling. That'll make 5. Hey, Mochi. I'm gonna go Moki with double C's. How did you get in? Aw. The moguls do a good job through their little letters of like gossiping with one another, which I can always live for. We love spilling the tea. But at the same time, like it's a good way to like remember what has happened and re-emphasize some of the things that are going on. Thank you. All right, what do we got down here? A little platform. Looks old. Yes, I am terrified of heights, UV. I would never ever do this in my entire life. And yet, the 6-year-old is showing more bravery than you. Everybody's got their strengths. Ooh, you've touched the thing. Touch it again. Alright, instead of asking Echo, we're just gonna stand on it again, just like we body slammed the wall. Oop, time to go. It's just a simple elevator. Oh, no. We stop splitting the party. Everybody goes together. We've got more mist coming up the way, but not a single monster to fight. Is that a treasure chest over there? Hello? How do I reach you? I don't exactly know what that is, but I want it. Awesome. Oh! Just rude. Alright, just, casual dragon living its best life. Now, this thing is a Draco zombie, so if I were to cast summoning magic on it, I mean white magic on it, healing magic, it should take damage. And so instead of the green text that we normally see, we can see that it is in fact taking the regular damage. And of course, anything we come against that is a zombie or undead should have the same kind of effect. Now, Iiko has a condition on her, which I believe to be the zombie status, and I can't seem to remove it with any of my items, which is a little unfortunate, which might restrict her ability from leveling up. So that can be a very tiny bit annoying. And it doesn't look like Garnet has the ability to heal her, nor does it look like Iiko has that ability. So not gonna be so great when trying to figure out what we're gonna do here. That's all right. Now, one of our potential options is we could go back and try to use a tent, but that's not a guarantee that it'll work either. But we'll keep trying. UV's learn locomotion. Let's see, do we have anything else for you to wear? No. So moving on. Here we got a new flute. I believe Aiko's the only person who can use flutes. Okay, so this thing is not undead. And it seems like we might not be able to pick up Iiko because she's still under that zombie status. So I'm not actually sure what... Oh, a magic tag. Okay. So the magic tag will remove the zombie status, and that's what's going to make everything okay. I don't think we had one of those a minute ago. I feel like I would have tried it. But we're collecting all our goodies. Yeah, Aiko's got a lot of abilities to learn. Everything up there looks withered. This place looks totally different. It's so bright at the bottom. It looks like uranium. It's time to go. Your child. Whee! And this just reminds me of like an amusement park ride. I'd be sick. Oh, Mog. Oh, very upset. Something exciting. Translate for a small child. a lot of life beneath us. Moogles are fairies, so they sense life everywhere. But Mog says there's a whole lot here. But what would be the connection, Garnet, between Kuja and the mist? Before we could ponder that question, we've been attacked! But they're not looking our way. We've got to save some of our MP here. There's definitely a boss coming. You know that the mist is causing it. So the working conspiracy theory we're using now is somebody is making a tree somehow pump all of its mist just out on to a whole nother continent. What's up, my man? I've just been thinking about the mist. I remember the factory, you know, where they were making clones of you. Well, not exact clones, you're right. Correction appropriate. I'm not upset about being made. It must be hard for, you know, a person who's like, oh, you were a clone. You weren't born dead. You were just there. So Vivi's working theory is they're all connected in some way, and Ico appropriately is like, what are you talking about? No! I only have one magic tag. In one of the Final Fantasy games, specifically 10, there's a scene where you get the zombie status, and you're supposed to leave it. You're not supposed to fix it, because when you fix it, the very next boss phase casts a spell that automatically KOs everybody immediately. But if you're a zombie, you're already dead. Careful, there might be lurking monsters. But what I see is a little treasure chest peeking its way out. A little to the left of Vivi. Who is pulling at the harpstrings of life? Let's fix this before we go into battle, shall we? Oh. What could it be? It's a plant, but also a machine. It is weird looking. I'll give it that. And I think before we jump into battle, somebody learns a new ability. We really need to pay more attention. Can you learn anything new? No. Can you learn anything new? You learn locomotion, I know that, but it's all good. Any new abilities we can equip? Oh. Now, if only there was one to stop uh, being a zombie. Hello, children. No, I don't want to watch it just yet. There might be a secret item. And what do you know? There was. Is it moving? Just my imagination. How would you even get down there? It's giving me very like Mako reactor vibe from Final Fantasy VII, just plant mode. Mark saying something's coming from above. Get down here now! But first, before we go anywhere, we could get a new piece of equipment. I don't know what kind of equipment it's considered, but I'll look for it. Where are you hiding? She was tiara. I must be blind. I can't seem to find it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I can't take the survival vest off until I mastered Mug, but then afterwards. Oh, afterwards. So that is A-okay. I'm coming! Are you okay? I was startled. There's something down here! Over there! We must save the children. The walls are moving. They kind of look like tiny little faces. The wall is pulsating? Oh, Mother Nature. I do not know where Kuja is. What are you doing here? Are you the one who's making this? It is not produced. Mist is a byproduct of the refining process. It is discharged through the roots. So it's like, it wasn't my goal to make monster creating mist, but I did what I could. I contaminate the other continents with mist to simulate the fighting instinct. And so really, this creature, which is the whole tree, I'm saying, right, is somehow purposefully causing like a pheromone or like a chemical to infect every other person to make them want to like murder one another. And so I really don't think that's what we should do. And so I'm going to agree with the 6-year-old here and be like, we're going to kill him. And it's like, we need information though. I understand that potentially, right? Earlier this tree was like, I can't lie. I can't lie. But that doesn't mean you need to say like, oh, if you kill me, it'll stop. Do not love every birth. Just a little bit of torture goes a long way. But the 1-year-old will not let him become an instrument of murder. That's very presumptuous of you. It's Mother's Day here in the United States, and so in order to celebrate that, we're going to just kill the largest thing in Mother Nature in this game, which is a massive tree. Now the question is, do we think it's technically dead? I don't think it is. But it's now on fire. Although there's no animation to support that. What can you tell me? Little. Oh, I feel like Scan has just always missed. At least definitely in this run through. I've only used it twice, but it just never seems to work when I need to know some information. Yike! Alright, so we got really lucky. So there are a few different spells in this game that come with like a level prefix, so like level 5 death. And so basically, if you are a multiple of that, it will work on you. So let's say every character was level 20, every single character would have just died then and there. It's a little sneaky, I will definitely say that. But at the same time, you know, if you have a little foresight into what you're doing, you want to make sure that nobody's ever a multiple of 5. You want to avoid if they're level, you know, multiples of 4. But as you go down towards like what's more possible, like there are more numbers that are just simply multiples of 3. The effects or like the strength of what is going to kill you is less powerful. Oh no. This is not good. We might have to continue. Not my intention, but... Pick her up! But that's okay. Oh yeah, we're done. Ah! Oh, it didn't work. I'll take it. We may live another day. You monster. No, please. What does that do? Oh, everybody's back to being dead. This is not working out. Oh, don't do it, bestie. This is one of the things I love about Final Fantasy games, like when leveling is done correctly and bosses are created, like it's not as easy as just slamming things in the face 20 times. What's the unfortunate thing is that that mustard bomb move puts something on the on them called heat. I believe that's what it's called. And basically, if the person does anything, like takes any action, before they take their action, like to heal or attack or whatever it is, they just automatically die. But I think we're going to be good now. We've got very powerful abilities. So when Zidane is in his trance, he gets access to something called Dyne, D-Y-N-E. And basically that is going to be a really powerful move. That's probably the only reason why he uses MP in the whole game. But now that he got hit with the mustard bomb, he's immediately dead. So fun times. The one good thing at least is that when a character is in trance, even when they get KO'd or fainted, they don't immediately die. I'm sorry, they don't lose their trance. That's what I mean to say. They do immediately die if they get the damage done to them. And at the current rate, it doesn't look like I'll be able to actually use any of those special abilities, but I'm going to keep giving it a go. I am, however, running out of Phoenix Downs. Oh, finally. So you see how powerful that ability is, and like you normally wouldn't be able to get, like, I mean you can normally get, but you have to know that you have to synthesize all this equipment and make sure that you are developing the abilities, because each of Zidane's like primary weapons teaches an ability. Like the Gladius he has equipped right now teaches Annoy. But when you go into trance and you get the Dyne ability, those simpler thievery-ish type abilities become the Dyne abilities. And that's what makes them really powerful. But now that we have in fact killed Mother Nature, or more specifically, the largest and most populous and malicious tree on the planet, of course it's going to upset the balance, at least a little bit. So, no tree, no mist, and so a lot of the places that were once enshrouded completely in a never-ending mist, like the Mist Continent, are going to actually be able to see the sun in its entirety for what is probably the first time. And now they're like, oh, but hold on a second. Let's see if this Kuja person will show up. So now, once again, Vivi is done with the dilemma. He has effectively stopped all mist from being produced. And since the Black Mages are from the mist, there won't be any more. And he's fairly certain that because there'll be no more, they'll all hate him. But Aiko, in her sure to self-confidence that only a 6-year-old could have, she's like, don't be ridiculous. they're not gonna hate you for what you've done, even though you did kill a tree. And so we can see that Aiko's family values are very big here, very strong. What's the matter, Moko? No way! Someone stole something from the village. Who could it be? Let's get everybody healed back up before we go out into danger again. And see, have we learned anything good? We have learned something good. Now, the unfortunate thing is we have to kind of like go through the motions with Aiko because she doesn't know any abilities like everybody else. So certain equipment is going to be weaker than others for the meanwhile. But we'll see what happens. And now that we've learned the Gladius, we can go back up to the Rune Tooth, which does a lot more damage. Like, I think mathematically it's going to be like 20% more. Okay, we're still learning Mug here. But one of the little things we saw Aiko get access to now is the ability up skill. So now every little point that she gets towards her AP will count twice. And of course we want that for everybody, so that way they all get all of their stats as quickly as possible. It seems like the only person who doesn't have it right now is Zidane, but that's all right because we know that one of the items we just picked up a little while ago, that hidden item on that little tree, is going to give it to us. But since it's the only thing we'd be able to learn right now, it just doesn't make sense. So we'll just finish up Mug and then we'll get to ability up. Okay, we're back on the world map. Later, when you go back to like the Mist Continent, you'll actually see that it's kind of cleared up a little bit. So even they're not like dramatic changes to like the map or things like that, at least they gave it a go. So this is one of the friendly creatures in the game. This is the nymph. And she wants some ore. If you give them what they want, they give you a lot of AP. And later on, you get access to a really good item. However, there is one creature, which is a scary, ugly-looking cat, and that one will, in fact, try to steal precious gemstones from you like a diamond. Most of these creatures are like, I just want, ore, which is a cheap material. Give some to Jabberwock, don't you? And so that's the next creature you're supposed to interact with. And because we were so kind, she also gave us an emerald. Now, I don't think we've had an emerald yet, but we can see that this emerald, although it doesn't have an Eidolon or an Eidolon connected to it, it still has some really cool abilities like haste, which makes that bar go faster, among other things. But for Aiko, we're going to make sure we definitely get her next summon first, because that's really important. And we'll see if there's anything else we can put on. We don't always have something great, but we'll take what we can get. Now the question is, what do we unequip to get the ability to do ability up? So we got to keep alert on, because those back attacks really can mess us up right now, since Zidane's the only one in the front, and all of our magic users would be moved from the back to the front, making them more susceptible. But the good news is you only need one character to have that. I haven't seen any of like the extra abilities get added to Zidane's attacks like normal, so we'll just turn off add status for right now. But it seems like everybody else is at least in the right spot. Hello? And I think right before we go into mid-end, sorry, we'll just like spin around a few times to level up quicker. Just to make sure we're ready for whatever might be waiting for us in the village where something has been stolen. Fortunately, everything around here is not weak, but doesn't require us to strategize like we did with the tree. And one of the things I need to get used to now that we have the mug ability is using the steal ability more. There's a benefit for using steal, like of course you get items for it, and all of that, but late game, there's an extra town you can go to that they like evaluate how much you've stolen. And so you can get a reward or access to like additional cards and stuff if you steal a lot of stuff. No. Mug, of course, doesn't do as much damage as it does, but the trade-off is you get a good item. Hello? Anything here? Alright, we should be in a good spot. You know you're underleveled when you're attacking and you're doing double digits as opposed to quadruple digits. Or when you get the experience and when you see how much experience you're getting, it's like minimal. It's hardly anything. And down you go. Alright, so just outside. Oh! I guess they wanted to get one more in. Bye! One of the things that I loved in Final Fantasy X, which has voice acting, is that sometimes when a character's going to kill an enemy, like it's a definite like, oh, they're gonna go down, they have like a little quip or something to say that's pretty cute to hear. She's got a little army. Why didn't she take them with us? It sounds like they're still here. Is the background audio the noise from the friendly enemy encounters? Did it get stuck that way? What happened? Is everything okay, baby? Ooh, there's a treasure chest. Oh, they stole the stone. My grandparents said we should take care of it because it's a symbol of our heritage. But it's a stone. I'm a grown-up. I'm 6 years old. I refuse to cry. I'm above it. Oh, she is crying. No, girlie, it's not your fault. Just because you left. But in case you didn't remember from last time, every place we've gone seems to have had a stone taken from it. Bernicia had a stone taken, Clara had a stone, Alexander had its own stone. So this could be the fourth one. The last one that the queen was looking for. But if they couldn't reach us by boat, and they couldn't sail because, like, on the airships because there was no mist off of the mist continent, who stole it? You can cry on my shoulder if you need. But what about you? What do you do when you need to cry? And it's like, in complete opposite style of the machismo response. It's like, oh, I get so clingy. But you weren't acting serious. Maybe she'd appreciate more if you just said what was on your mind. It's that girl from Fossil Rue. And they went to the Eidolon Wall. So that's Lonnie. Oh, no, I need to go back in there. There's a treasure. Oh. I know that there's a 6-year-old in trouble, but there's money on the ground. Or a vest. Same thing. But I think I already have that. Oh well, moving on. What happened to Quina? Haven't seen them in a while. Oh, the Muggles are freaking out. Let us through. Oh, heal us. I don't know if we have. This is no way to treat a lady. Aw, the wings on her back aren't real. They're like an arts and craft project from her grandparents. And they found something good. But they gave us a new weapon. But we already have one. See, that's what happens when you're too far ahead with these blacksmiths and the synthesis shop. All right, Mog, I know you're a coward, but I need you to run right into the blade. Clearly, they think this is going to be a battle that's going to be even harder than the Iifa tree, because Soul Cage did not have a warning or a way to like heal right before. But they knocked the 6-year-old out. They gave her weed. Cough up the dough. So she's a thief of opportunity. Hold on, you're plotting something. Stay right there. You, Black Mage. Because she thinks that he's one of them. And then you hear a voice in the distance, hold it. I don't know who you are, but thanks. But this is the person from before. Her, Lonnie and this guy were supposed to do this together. What are you trying to do, Red? I thought you're supposed to be the #1 bandit. I'm not here to help, I just wanted to be fair. What are you talking about? Leave the jewel and get out of here. What? We're partners on this job. I don't work with hostage-taking scumbags. Like, I'm so glad that most people have a code of morals. But there she goes. Now fight me. I'm not here to help. So one on 4, he thinks it's gonna be okay? Do we think it's worth stealing from him? Or do we think he's gonna like slice me in 2 hits? It's always the problem you have with a 2-person battle. Ooh, he's got poison knuckles. Excuse me, what are you doing all the way back there? Excuse me. Am I supposed to wait until he's like in a normal position? Oh no. I have to heal a few more times. But it's possible we could just win based on counterattacks. See, this is an example of if you could call upon trance when you really needed it, like not use it unless you absolutely need it. Like it would have been just 1-hit wonder. Alright, buddy. Get into position. How are you still up? Here I go. I definitely don't think he speaks like that. It's definitely like a deep tone voice. It's like, here we go. I lost? And then he's like, Dad, kill me, end my life. And it's like, I don't do that. give back what you stole, and you live. And then he's like, all right, I did as you commanded, now kill me. You've got to have a significant level of trauma to be like, okay, so you're not going to kill me. You're not going to exile me or excommunicate me from the community. So clearly you're gonna trick me and like kill me when I run away. The sly eagle doesn't kill at whim. And he's like, oh. I got a little bit of philosophical response. She bounces back way too quick to not be traumatized from that. You're pretty good. Thanks for rescuing her. Is she over here? Hello? Hello? Oh, did she go to put it back? Nah, girl, you gotta take it with you. Hold it on you at all times. Also, I just noticed there's another treasure chest to the left ahead. Can I open that one too? My grandfather told me not to leave the village until my 16th birthday. Girlie, you're gonna stay here for 10 more years? Do you think that it's okay if I leave? I don't know what happens if you say no. Honestly, no clue. But today's not gonna be that day. Oh, I guess that says it all. It doesn't matter what I said. Well, you see, calling each other out. The amount of emotional intelligence just would not be found in other 6-year-olds. Or maybe it is. I don't really know that many 6-year-olds. I think Mog wants to talk to you. You think I'm mad at you? I'm furious! I'd be kind of upset too if my one and only friend that's been with me since birth just up and disappeared. They're best friends. They were born on the exact same day. And they even have a friendship ribbon. And Mark's like, of course I do. But once we're both sophisticated ladies, we'll wear them together. I didn't know Mog was a girl. You can wear a ribbon if you want to. Oh, oh, we found more coffee. All right, Morris is gonna love that. Also, I wonder where Queena is. Like, we obviously left them here. We've been to every single segment. So where they at? Hello? Okay, so she's not here. Would she come this way? Alright, you've got items I can buy. But I kind of have all these things, except for the magic tags. Where'd she go? Huh. Did my eyes deceive me? Did we walk right past her? Oh. Was she gonna run away? The betrothed. Abandoned couple. Their flirting is just wonderful. Yes, yes, yes. You can be thankful to him and still angry at him. And so to this point, you know, she's been betrayed, she's had unexpected allies, but she still holds this burden of like, one day I will be queen and have to make all of this right. And so naturally she still feels extremely responsible. But at the same time, um, like it is not her fault typically. Um, you can't be blamed for what other people do. Ibsen and his good friend Colin worked at a tavern in Treno. One day, Ibsen got a letter. The letter was so wet from rain that most of the writing was illegible. The only part he could read said, "Come back home." Nowadays, we have airships and stuff, but back then it was really hard to travel. He didn't know why he had to go back, but he got some time off, gathered his things, and set out on his journey home. He walked 1,000 leagues through the mists. Sometimes he was attacked by vicious monsters, but he made it because his friend Colin was by his side. Kind of sounds like that story from before. And then, after much time on the road, he had to ask Colin something. "Why did you come with me?" And Colin's answer was, "Only because I wanted to go with you." Does there ever have to be a complex reason for people to do nice things? Also, why wasn't that boat appropriately docked and tied? And yet, somehow, for the first time we're hearing this song, and Dagger's not the one singing it. She's having a flashback. And so if you throw your mind's eye back to the start of the game, where we see all this exact very scene, except without their faces really being in it, Garnet is realizing that she is from Midansari, Midansari, and she seems to have been escaping, most likely with a figure that looked just like her. Um, but the thought and the trauma of all that moment had been blocked out of her young mind. And so she only remembers her life at about 6 back in Alexandria. Um, but she's like, oh wait, I was here. Like it has to be. And her true mother voted away to keep her safe as that giant eye, which kind of looks like the eidolon that Queen Brani used on, what was it, Clara? Um, and so it's just really coming back to her when she finally heard um, Iiko singing. And of course, Iiko has all these questions. Some of them are like, just the fantasy thoughts of any 6-year-old. Like, why are you a princess? Like, I want to be a princess. But then she's asking like also really good questions. Like, you don't have a horn though, but somehow you can summon creatures. And so as Garnet now needs to grieve over 2 separately traumatic events, our only hope is that we might by chance get information from Dr. Todd or somebody else. And so, in the spirit of now finding somebody else from her race, Aiko's sure that her grandparents would be happy for her to leave the village. And so they're like, we're going to do this together. In the background, we can see a few of the different eidolons. We saw the one that destroyed the village. We can see very briefly like Leviathan, who I don't believe we have yet. But if we go back to the wall, Vivi's just like, there's only one kid for this trip. No, go away. If we go back to the wall, we can check out some of that. Now, Morrison can speak in completely fluent English, like, or common, or whatever language that they all speak that we can read. But some of the Mughals aren't bilingual. So what's the secret, Mughals? Do you choose to learn it? You want some more? Why didn't you kill me? And naturally, Zidane offers a incomprehensible option. Tag along with me and figure out why I let you live. So we have Amarant here. We can name him whatever we want. We're just gonna keep his name. But so far the only race, the only person that is now technically human now. So Zidane has a tail. We know he's not human. Garnet and Iiko, like you can call them humans, but they're technically part of like this separate summoners race. Freya's a Burmesian. She's a rat woman. And then Steiner's the only other human guy that's just chilling out in our party. But obviously this guy isn't your typical human guy. He's green. And now this is the first time that you get to start to form a party, and you can only do this in certain areas, like when you're getting off an airship or a boat. I think you can do it any time on the world menu, but I can't remember exactly. And I think at certain spots when you talk to Mughals, they'll be like, oh, you can change it if you wish. But you can only ever have 4 characters active in your party. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I don't think I've ever used Amaranth, ever. And I doubt that'll change. But what happened to Queena? I'm just pointing it out because that means we forgot them again. Okay, they still won't give us the side-scrolling version of the wall. I don't know what actually makes that happen, but I was going to point out some of the different ones. Let's find out if Queen is just in the kitchen or if they moved on. Because they like jumped into the river at one point, but it shouldn't mean that they're just gone. And yet, for some reason, I guess it does. Maybe I missed something that I can't remember. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 things here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to double check that everybody's got stuff going on. But the second thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just very, very quickly reset the game here. Because I don't know if you've noticed it, but I keep noticing it. They're just still playing the same track from before, like where you meet the friendly enemy. And I'm just like, what's up with that? Seems like they all have their right things on. It's really our friend here who's catching up. Alright, so we're gonna just step out. We are going to save. Which, it's been a while. It's been a whole hour since we last saved. And then I'm going to just very briefly, I actually don't even know the way to quit the game normally, so I'm just gonna do that. And I'll just turn it right back on really quick. I want to appreciate every single piece of audio in this game, and I can't do that if I'm just listening to a triangle in the background. And we're back. So we're gonna make our way back to Treno, I guess, which means we have to go all the way back. We have to go underground. We have to somehow make our way back to the Mist Continent. We can do this kind of at faster speed. Rude. Much better. And we're learning some abilities. So we still haven't learned ability up, but we've learned enough. Still nothing excellent, but you know, some good things. And we can keep moving up the ladder in terms of items. So, you know, we've mastered 2 weapons so far. We've got another weapon here. But we really want to get to these flutes because they have all of the abilities connected to them. And we really want everybody to have their full arsenal available to them. So we're just casually making our way back. It's a beautiful day outside. Doesn't seem like we're fighting any enemies. And now we've made it back to the village here. You can stop at the store and see, you know, do you got anything new? But chances are they won't. Most of the shops in this game, it's like when you get there, like that's what they'll have for the rest of the game. It very much doesn't change. But sometimes you get surprised. We seem to have a lot of these. We don't have one of these, so we'll take one of those. We'll take 2 of them, actually. And see if that'll give us a new ability. It would give us a very good set of abilities for Zidane, but he already knows everything. And the rest of them don't learn anything from it. So that might be something that might be useful later on for like Freya or Steiner. And just remember, just because they're not with us right now doesn't mean that they wouldn't be able to use it, because when we switch back to them, whether it's a separate party or not, they get access to our whole inventory. We're also briefly going to just check in on the Black Mage Village, because I kept our list from last time, the 2 things that we need to get like our last 2 synthesis items from that town. And I believe we have it now. We have the bandana and we have a second Multina racket, which is the thing that we actually just equipped to Iiko, I believe. So we'll have to master those things so that way we can get rid of it and get a better item. It seems like Iiko learned... Oh, no. Somebody else learns an ability. But again, not a good one. Not one to remove something from them. You can heal yourself, bird, but I will come for your feathers. And leveling up doesn't hurt. Alright, so we're not going to play this game. We know that that is a cactar under the ground, and it will hit us with 1,000 needles. None of our party members have 1,000 HP, so it's just basically an instant death. Um, and so although there's XP and EP to get, like a good amount, it's just not worth the hassle. At least not currently. Okay, I go learn Jelly, so we're probably in a spot to change some of these items. Okay, we can learn Auto Potion. I absolutely hate Auto Potion, but because we're kind of going for a little something something here, we are going to try to learn every one of the abilities. There's quite a bit of things for you to learn, our 6-year-old. We're going to do the Phoenix Pinion first. Actually, no, we're going to do Emerald first, because if we really need it later on, we can haste people to go faster. Hi, buddy. I don't like the sun. It makes me hot. I don't like the sun at all. We've got everything in here. But did we learn everything from that racket? No, we did not. Okay. So we're going to very briefly just do 3 more battles. If they all give us 1 AP each, with the ability up, it'll just be 3 battles to get the remaining 5. And then we will be able to take that off of Iiko and get the last few items we need. Ooh, you almost killed me. Not today. Alright, so we've learned the ability. We can take off the racket and go to the flute now. And we should be able to get the last 2 items. This is the Black Cat Synthesis Shop. And I believe we're looking to get this extension. We don't have one of these. And we want the Reflect Ring. We have everything else, I believe. Actually, we might actually be missing 2 things. The fairy earrings, 3 things. The fairy ring, the extension, and the reflect ring. I don't believe we have an anklet. And because we don't have the ability to make one, we're not going to be able to do that. But the tiara and the magic armlet should be things that we have equipped to somebody. We do not. So we can change this out for something that's just as good. And we should be able to make that at least. But for the magic armlet, we might have to go back to Conde Petit. I think they were selling that there, maybe? I'm going to cheat just a little bit and just turn off random encounters briefly to just go check. But that's a possibility. That maybe we can't get them right now at all, and we'll actually have to come back for it in the long run, no matter what. Here's me coming through. There we go. Alright, so 1 magic armlet. We'll get 2, just in case. But no anklet to buy. So that's not going to help us here. Would anybody benefit from a magic armlet? You would. Okay, so then you get it. But that's why we bought 2, so we can get rid of the other one. We're on the road again. Whoop. All right, and then we're gonna put back the encounters back on. And say, give me that other item. All right, so we've got fairy earrings, we've got the extension, and I guess later on we'll just have to come back with an anklet. Um, it might be something we can make like at another synthesis shop, or it might be just something we can find, but because we can't do it right now, it kind of limits our ability of what we can do. Zen can put on the fairy earrings though, so we're gonna do that. And I don't even remember the other item we just made. I already forgot. Oh, the extension. So we can put the extension on, so that way Iiko can learn auto potion at the same time, which means we can upgrade this to something else too. All right, but that also has MP up, so we're just trying to level out what we're doing here. Now the thing that's harder is that although ability up is 3 points, I think level up is 7, and so we'll have to think of like what can we clear out in the meantime to get 7 points. At least until we level up enough to be able to equip more than that. And so normally I don't like taking off Bright Eyes because that prevents like blindness. So we'll probably just take off. Okay, we'll take it off. What's the worst that can happen? You mean like 20 minutes screaming how we can't see anything? But we're getting there. Okay, so we are headed back to the cave now that we've taken care of kind of our housekeeping to get back to the Mist Continent, which is going to need a new name now that we obliterated Mother Nature. That's okay, we'll think of something. I mean, technically it's on its way to becoming the Alexandrian Empire, so that could be an option. But we'll see what's up. If I remember correctly, we gotta go walk around the long way to be able to get there. One of the things that I like they did is, as they innovate and come out with the next Final Fantasy, is that like the transmitter in 10 becomes different for each character like it is in this one, but also on top of that there are different ways to choose how it gets filled. So right now the way the gauge gets filled is just you take damage, it goes up a little bit. But in Final Fantasy X, like that's the default, but then later on as you play through the game, it in fact changes. You can be like, oh, every time I do damage, or every time I almost said a coworker, that's so funny. Or every time like I get healed or something like that. But now I'm just remembering that the exit for Fossil Rue said that it was a one-way ticket, so we can't go back this way. So the question is, what is the correct way? Where are we going? If we can't go back the way we came, we'll look for something else. Oh, you know what I think we were supposed to do? I think we were supposed to go back to the tree. I distinctly remember doing more damage to the natural forces of this world. See, double trance against a super easy enemy. What's the point? We're on our way. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because we ran back to the village to get the gemstone, but we were supposed to be waiting at the tree for Kuja to hopefully come back. Now it's all coming together. Auto potion mastered. We're still learning level up, so that's going to take a while. Hey! Alright, hi, bye everybody. Okay, now that I remember where we're going. We're going back to the tree. What is that? I have never seen this creature one whole time in my whole life. And I guess we'll never see it again. Bye. What a mountain oolop. What would I need those for? Hello, Susanna. Bye, Susanna. So she didn't immediately die. So what gives? Is it magic, specifically, that you can't do? I don't know, I'll just keep guessing until I figure it out. Alright, but you learned ability up. Can you do anything else for us? No. Alright, so we've made it to the tree. But before we go in, because if Kuja is there, that's definitely a boss battle waiting to happen. We are just going to save another time. Hello? Is anybody home? What happened to the mist? We beat the beast that breathes it. So much for the mist continent. No more mist? They must possess incredible powers to accomplish such a feat. Perhaps we do. Most likely we don't. But there's the dragon. That is a power move, okay? That is an absolute power move. To no harness, not even like straddled on it. Just I'm going to stand vertically on the back of a flying beast. And it seems like for whatever reason, right? Since the Iifa tree isn't producing this anymore, it has no value. Kuja could care less about it. But what should we do? Do we keep our current party members? Do we go to the menu? Do we need to make any changes? No, we're good. Or at least I hope we're good. As we make our way to take on Kuja, who's plotting. We need to jump and climb. It couldn't be me, sis. It couldn't be me. Also, what do you mean he went down the trunk? Like, he's up. Climb. What's the problem? You should just go by yourself. No, we've got to do this together. You almost knocked me down. And Amaranth's like, I could go and collect some grass and get the big bug creatures to help us carry, or I'm just going to be a very macho man and just go, okay, let's go. And he picked these 6-year-olds up like they're just 2 dumbbell weights and is like, all right, time to jump 10 feet in the air. I learned of powers that would daunt even him. Who's him? But now my forces are ready to strike. I'll warm up on them until the elephant lady shows up. So, if we're his warm-up, does he mean to kill Queen Brani? Is that his goal? There's Kuja. I don't think we need to do anything. It's going to be pretty hard to take us down if we have 2 healers. You are Kuja, correct? My name is Princess Gonet Tilexandros. Just has to, throw her whole station out there. Oh dear, the princess is such a bloodthirsty little puppet. And he's like, stop it, please. I mean, granted, it is a very emotional thing, but like, I've got questions, you've got answers. You're not given very clear ones except for haughty torturement. But What do you mean, brother? Why, what about the warmonger of your mother? She said she won't feel alive until she has everything. It breaks my heart to see such greed. My mother was sweet and kind. She was, however, an elephant. They've arrived. All that time and effort they put into loading up all those boats when they took over Lindblom. And somehow, all the way out on the ocean, this woman's got great vision, let me tell you. She can somehow see us all the way up there. And she is kind of a military genius. Suppression fire. You're just the opening number. Time for the real show. There are more things in our way. And clearly Kucha has the magic ability to be able to summon these creatures. He can create things directly out of the mist, no problem. So where did he go? And then he ran away. So clearly Cooch is either overconfident or extremely powerful. And even though she did such horrible things to her, and isn't her real mother, she still doesn't want her to die. Which technically doesn't make her a princess anymore. And with Garnet taking off, they just easily slot Amarant into the party. He's pretty strong. His abilities are okay. He's got the throw ability, which lets you pick items from your inventory and literally throw them at the enemy. They're not the greatest thing. It's not the greatest set of abilities in the world. He's also got like these flare abilities he can unlock that do like a bunch of different things. And technically, like, if Zidon's a thief, if, you know, Iiko's a white mage, if we're going like with traditional classes, technically Amarant is a monk. He's got some spells, he's got a lot of hand-to-hand combat abilities going on. But really, the second we don't need him anymore, I'll be moving on. We have to go and save the princess. I guess while we're here, we can look at armor and stuff. So his thing kind of works like Zidane. So like his main weapon comes with the abilities on them, and similar like Quina. So all of Quina's forks all have the same ability. They all teach High Tide. Um, but the reason that is because High Tide requires like 300 AP or whatever. So Armorin's knuckles, these like bladed fisticuff weapons, have the counter ability, but it's so high that, you know, to justify it, you do it over several different ones. If we apply 2 different things that teach counter, it'll go up a lot quicker. And we can see that there's a lot of abilities for Armorin to use. So we'll just equip some things and hope for the best. There's a mogul back here. Hello? Now is not the time to read. We're at war. It must be hard to know, living your whole life with something, and then with its absence, even though it might have created problems, like what might it do to you? But we're coming, Garnet. Oh my god, that was crazy. Oh. Ooh. I'm just thinking about like a bug running up on you. Nope, pass. We're just gonna keep running and running and running and running and running and on and on and on. You know, having never done this before, this is very, very arrogant of her. I can't save my mother with this disastrous Eidolon. It's the sea serpent Leviathan. It wipes out its enemies with a huge tidal wave. You're saying we don't want to destroy all of the boats? Get back to your post, soldier. We must defend the queen. It looks like that creature's in trance. Finish him off. Come, draconic seedling. Now, the King of Dragons has been pronounced differently by different people. So some people pronounce it Bahamut, and then some people pronounce it Bahamut. I wonder what everybody thinks the correct pronunciation is. And oh, that red eyeliner. How does it know where to aim? It doesn't have eyes. And it destroyed the tree even more. Blood. So, you know, overconfident. What's wrong? She's sensing something. She's tweaking. She's like, something's up! That's the last Eidolon. He'll win for sure. Blood? He's like, I feel alive! And Kuja's just like, everything's according to plan. Summoning from the sky a giant eyeball. High above the Iifa tree. She comes face to face with her own summon. And somehow turned on her. Mother! Ah, but now you're riding side saddle. I don't know why Bahamut attacked the one who summoned him. But we found Queen Brane on the beach next to her escape pod. She could hardly move, and I thought she'd come to a stop any second. I hate Kuja a lot, but I hate Brane a lot too. So much that I wanted this to happen to her. I should be happy, but once I saw Dagger start to cry, I didn't know how I should feel. I kind of wanted to cry too. So all of this is coming from Vivi's perspective. I can hear my daughter's voice. Yes, mother, I'm here. Right here. I am empty now. Free. Free of that terrible greed. Mother! I haven't felt this way since I saw that play with you and your father. She's been infected with whatever this was for so long. She wasn't herself. But in her last moments, she was amongst family and free. And they returned with her body. And they buried her. And as one would expect from servants, loyal subjects and servants of the kingdom, they're like, it was our fault. But the problem here is, she's starting to put herself into a silo. She's like, I have to do this alone. Even though she's asking for help, she's still saying it's her burden by herself. I wonder how tough it is to have people fall under a monarch that actually like influences that every single day. And could you love a leader like that in a way where even in the last few years of their reign they were absolutely deplorable? Or is that just something that's like indoctrinated? We want to return to the scene of the crime. Princess, we have arrived at the castle. She won't be a princess much longer, Dr. Tot. Haha, indeed. I shall have to call you Queen Garnet after the coronation. Please watch your step, Princess. She is not feeble. Dr. Tot. But I will be at your side the whole way. Interestingly, each person in this scene has a different title. Doctor, Queen, General. And they called him Master, but he's technically a captain. We ain't seen each other in ages. Why the sourpuss, partner? What happened? Maybe that dagger chick dumped him. Bingo! This ain't like you at all, Zidane. Hey, Ruby. Heard you started a mini theater. That's right, darling. My plays are a hit. And they're just like, he's always in his feels. Time to move on. And he's just like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. It's been sadness one step after another. This way, everyone. Oops. Sorry. I haven't seen you since you left Alexandria Castle. Well, a lot of things have happened, but I'm fine. And he's like, oh yeah, I escaped. You know, the rat woman, the general girl. Obviously, he doesn't know any names. And so now we're playing as Vivi, which hasn't happened since this exact scene. You walk in as Vivi and you go to see the play. Hello. Welcome to my bar. He seems a little espresso depresso. Been a long time. Been a while. Zanero, Benero, Janero. They all end in Ero. And they're hella excited. Now, the last time we were here, we weren't able to visit any of the shops. Because, as one might imagine, we were here for a party. But it means we can stock up now. And it means I can also level everything out. There might be some weapons we can get. We'll see. Found 38 gil on the floor. Hello, hello. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. What's up? We just watched the death of a queen and killed Mother Nature herself. Unrelated, but still connected. And now we're just trailing along with all the gossip. I think it's very unfair of them as friends to say, you know what, our friend is under heartbreak. We should just abandon him and let him deal with the problems on his own. Ooh, another special colored Moogle. Artemisium. Why does your coat look so shiny? Yeah, we took down Mother Nature on Mother's Day. It wasn't planned that way, but it is what happened. We killed the largest. I wouldn't say life-sustaining. It really was more of a problem than a solution. But yeah, obliterated Mother Nature on Mother's Day. I do love a good pun. I also got the new Zelda game, Tears of the Kingdom, on Friday, and I'll be honest with you, I was also overwhelmed a little bit. I feel like I had to put down the game like a few times, not because it was like tough or anything. It's just like there's just so much that even in like the intro tutorial, whatever you want to call it, I was like, hold up a minute, like I need to just take a step back. I was not expecting some of the things that happened either. Ooh, this. What else can we make? Oh, we can finally make that anklet. Oh, but we can only make one. Oh, man. Can I make another golden choker? Okay. 2 anklets. Overall, still really excited for it, but I just need like a mental break every few hours to just be like, hold on, gonna start simple. Can I sell anything good? Some of these things, I don't need all of them. What do you mean by like like play it like Breath of the Wild? Like just like go straight to the end? Like one of the things that I did was I was like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. So once I got the glider, I was feeling a little bit more confident. But ooh, did I still get thrown down? I've probably died more than I ever have in a game. And it makes me so angry. Need $3,000 more. Gil. What are these strange men doing around our shop? What can I sell to get what I need? I don't know if I'll be able to get this weapon later, so I figured I'd have to do it now. Hello, lady. Where did my son go? He's always playing with my cat. I don't know. We reserved a room for 3 nights at 100 gil. It's actually 100 gil per night. He's making such a scene. I'm embarrassed right now. These are the family members from Dolly, which is where they were making the black mages in the first place. One of the things that I hate, I'm trying to use the word hate less. One of the things I dislike about Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild is the fact that equipment has durability, so like things consistently break. It's like, please, just give me my weapons and leave me alone. And having to switch between things also doesn't make it any more fun than it needs to be. But yeah, I see what you mean, like needing to use the environment and the fusibility and all that kind of stuff. I feel like you'd still be pretty good if you stick to the, I guess, traditional route that they want you to go. Like if you're following the story. Like I haven't had too much of a problem with I would say at least with going like the way the game wants me to go and not using the fusibility. Um, I know I've done a lot of running away, like a lot, but I've got no shame in that. I'm more than happy to just run. I'm also trying to just like do more of the exploration. So, um, like I went to a bunch of the towers right away. Like once you were able to get down, and I was like, "What do you mean I can't use this? I need the map now." But going through the story a little bit and getting access to it in the paraglider, I'm like, I'm gonna just do this part first. Um, and if anything comes along, I'll do it. Yes, the durability I think is too low. Like I understand, swinging a stick 9, 10 times, but like if I have like a dagger made of like like whatever the material of those creatures are, like they've lasted hundreds if not thousands of years. Pull the rope. Ring the bell. Ooh, money. Oh, we got a card. Poor kid. I'm still excited though to just check out like what all the game has to offer. Um, even if I might die 28 million more times. It is massive. I know that like one of the critiques of the game is that it uses like the same map as the first game, but at the same time, like they've changed a bunch of things and they added some stuff. The only thing that I um, am like, oh, I don't love that part so much is like, even though like they've changed some things and it's only been a little while and like sure things are falling out of the sky, like I love continuity as much as possible, and so like what happened to all the original shrines from the first game? Like it doesn't seem like they just like reshaped into these other types of shrines. Um, and I'm fine with a game being like, hey, you're at the top of your peak, and now you're weak all of a sudden again. Um, So I think they did that in a good way, but at the same time, like I would know where I'm going, kind of. Like maybe they should have gave you like a map that was like semi-completed, and like only by doing that stuff would you get like the updates. So it's fine if you can fast travel or like teleport to different places, but being like, oh, I know there's something over there, instead of making it just like a vague outline. But that could just be a personal critique. Yes, that was awesome. I was not expecting that anything would come over from the first game. And so when I walked up to the place and I was like, hello, I actually talked to the guy on the wrong side. I talked to him on the inside. So he was like, these are pony points and this and this and that. But when I went to the other side and he's like, are you here to register a horse? And was like, wait a minute, you have some horses. I was like, do tell. Oh, I'm not that far either. The only thing that I've done is like I landed, I got the paraglider, and then I just beelined it to um, like the Zora domain area, just because I figured that would be a good spot to get started, especially if they're going to give you abilities similar to the first game. I would love the ability to get one free revive instead of a game over. I don't know if that's in the game, but I'm just guessing at this point. And in this game, we're just getting back all of the gemstones that have the summons in them that were stolen from Garnet's body. So that way later on, when you get Garnet back in your party for battle, she can learn all those summons over time. Beatrix, I'd like to see Zidane, please. Now may not be a good time. They should have just been like, we'll go get him for you. First, I'll write him a love letter, except I don't know how to write. Where should I start? Your beard, your nerdy hat, your thick eyeglasses, all the signs of a nerdy philosopher. I mean, have you seen that AI recreation of, who was it? Socrates? He doesn't meet any of those requirements except for the beard. The woman was dead, and the girl was still breathing. The real Princess Garnet had died, and she replaced her. But they removed her horn. Hey, will you hurry up, old man? I need to write a love letter. What a fancy little dress. I am not my mother's. I mean, Queen Brane is not my real mother. It's like, we already know. Everybody already knows. But it's your heart and your soul that she cares about. I think, although I can't claim to know much about fashion, but I believe that certain dresses like these specifically had like wire framing or I don't know what the right name for it is, but it had like some type of like apparatus which helped keep it poofy. Goodbye, old man. By the way, I'm 6 years old. You helped me write a love letter for a teenager, and I'm from the middle of nowhere. She really knows how to share her story. And although we're not going to get into combat anytime soon, I am going to update any of their equipment if I need to. Oh! This child is choking, and you don't even care. If you can't get me down, at least give that letter to your adopted son. And he's just gonna leave her there. A new little ornament. Hey, the boat ain't here. Why, if it isn't Baku, the leader of Tantalus. Did somebody just call my name? Should we capture him? No, no, no. He saved my life. Like, what character growth for him? But he's kind of returned to his like classist ways. Like, this is the castle. You need to leave. It's time for you to go. And if you saw, he dropped the letter naturally. I gotta say, the game of telephone before there was telephones, letter writing must have been insane. People writing notes that they thought were for other people and they weren't. Ah, so it was Steiner. This woman is the best character in this game. I'm never gonna let that down. Steiner must have dropped this. He doesn't even know the letter exists, girlfriend. And then she reads it. And now she's like, hold on a minute. Did he write me a love letter? I feel like that's a very common thing for younger people to do. Maybe older people do it. I don't think I've ever seen older people write love letters to one another, but I don't think it's a poor idea. Or at least shows intentionality and care. Meanwhile, this sorry sword is getting, I don't want to say drunk, but certainly he's in his cups. But clearly I'm going to eat my words because uh, before they were like, we don't care about our friend, and now all of a sudden they do. You ain't got no right to join us. You gave up on the biggest prize you ever did have. That's like some like reverse psychology, like father that cares but can't express his emotions appropriately to his son type of ridiculousness living life right there. Can we go see the princess, queen? And it's like, of course we can. And although I'm still not planning on going into battle anytime soon, still gonna check everything. I wonder what they forgot, because this whole time no one has mentioned Queen once. I forgot to give that letter away. So, Quina, the blue mage Q, who like loves to eat and fights with a fork, hasn't been seen in hours of gameplay. We have not seen them. They just seem to have vanished all of a sudden. It's unclear what has happened. What are you staring at? Are you really that? Like, who says that? Who walks across two different people and just goes to battle? Or I will charge both of you with disorderly conduct. What are they doing? They're just jumping around. I'd love to stop and talk right now, but I'm busy destroying a red-headed freak. And meanwhile, he's like, I will kill you, you rat. Tell her I'm the flaming Amaran. Now, I wouldn't do this, but the fact that he keeps describing himself with that adjective and you can pick his name, just think of what other names you could have given him for just potential laughs. I really hate his character. She's just a little worked up, you know? She did lose the love of her life and have to fight her way, defending the princess of a kingdom that destroyed almost her entire people and homeland. Do you know why I'm really mad? It's because of you! Where have you been? I'm sure it's only been a few days. Like, I can't have all these answers, rat lady. That is true. She does weave a good point. I don't even know if I can protect her, but you're the only person who has. Of course they want to see each other. They're in love. You still owe me a rematch. Useless. Pointless. Now, it's been a while since these lovely characters have had a chance to breathe. We haven't been able to play as any of them for quite a while. Um, and in actuality, I think we can, before we progress the story, we can actually go with them out of the city to do like some low ball leveling, which we're really just going to do because there's going to be a point in this game where the characters separate, if it lets me leave, that is. And you have to fight with each character. And it's not something I'm gonna love doing, but I'd prefer it not to be so bad. Will you let me leave? You will. Great. Awesome. So we can see the whole city. We can run this way. I actually don't even know. I don't think there's anything over in any of these areas, but point taken. We've got the Bandersnatches from before. Just some, easy free money, easy free XP. And as they level up, they'll also get more abilities, and then we can move on to the next thing. Although, they don't really have much, so that might be a little bit of a problem in terms of like getting them new abilities. That's okay. What did you learn? Is there anything over this way? Plants! They kind of look like demonic Pokemon, like if Oddish evolved and wanted to eat you instead of be eaten. Got a few things going on here. So let's see what we can do. My real main goal is just to get Freya up a little bit, just because she was at 19, she's not 20 now. Everybody else is like at 27, 28. And I don't want her to be that far behind. I think after we get just a little bit more under our belt and we talk to Garnet, we'll see where we are. I don't recall if it's this game, but I know for a fact in this game there's an ability called Auto Regen or Regen or however you want to pronounce it. Which basically every few seconds you get a very small amount of health just automatically restored to your person. However, I believe in this game specifically, it's not like structured in battle where it's like, oh, after you do an attack, or it's literally just like every few seconds. And in the settings, there's a way for you to basically, when you open the menu to select who to attack, the game kind of like stops. The characters continue to like do their movement animations, but the filling of the bar and all of that stuff. Like right now, like nobody, like they're all moving, but you see at the bottom, and invisibly for the enemies, they have their own bars. It's not moving as a way to like give you the player some chance to like strategize or select the right thing. But I believe when you're in this mode, if you still have the auto regen ability on, even though everything is technically stopped, that ability just keeps going. And so if you just sit here, let's say you have 1 health, but that ability's on, you'll just get health and get health and get health. It's not a lot, so you'll be sitting there waiting. But if you're fighting something really hard and you know it's taking you down quite a peg over and over and over, it could be an easy way to beat something really difficult if you just wait. It's the little like it's the little tricks, kind of like in Tears of the Kingdom, that you can use to do whatever you want. So like that game would be considered broken in some regards if you as a player just like built your own skyship. You can do that with the tools in the game, but because they're specifically designed so you can do that, it's not a problem. Whereas like in this, like that's not what you're supposed to use it for. That's a mistake. We're learning abilities here. We're almost done. We've almost learned everything you need to know. Alright, so because you're going to learn chakra through the leather plate, we can change your cat's claws to this. I love when multiple pieces of equipment have the same ability, so that way you can either level that up really quickly or you can have the ability to pick something new. Doing all of this right now also has a secret benefit for all of us, which is later on when Garnet and Iiko kind of need these stones to be able to learn their summons. So like Garnet can learn Atomos, Leviathan, and Shiva, Ifrit, which some people pronounce Ifrit. Like you as a character can't really use them because you want her to get all of the summons, so we're kind of just like avoiding that whole debacle by just being able to do it now. Another strategy piece in this game is the there are these. Every spell has an element unless it doesn't specifically, and so like fire, ice. There's even a water spell, but some of the spells are, believe it or not, earth-based. So like they're ground-based. And there's a spell called Float, which literally makes you just float above the ground. And if you get the ability Auto Float, like Vivi has, it's just always on. And there's a boss later in the game that only does earth elemental damage. So if you've done your homework and gotten everybody this ability, you can just turn on this ability for everybody, and it is the easiest thing ever. But if you don't, it's actually one of the hardest battles, like in the main story, if you're not prepared for it. I wonder if you did the same like thing I had to do, because I had to do something similar to it. Oh my goodness, some of them are really annoying. Like some of the things in the shrines or things like that can be really in the way. I know I did one of them recently, right before I got on for this. And I'm going to tell you something. I definitely did not do that right. I didn't do it even remotely how you were supposed to do it. You were supposed to like throw yourself across an area with like a tool that when you hit it, it like lifted up a banner and threw you to the side. And I was like, all right, I'll give that a go. Kept falling down. And then there was like another one where you had to like hit a ball into a wall. Nope, couldn't do that either. It's not that the game is broken, it's just I couldn't figure out how they wanted me to do it. And so it was kind of just resulting in an issue the whole way through. And there's this one, hopefully you'll be able to figure it out a lot better than I did. But there's this one shrine with, I forgot what it's called. I think it's called Speed Force or something. That's like the name of the shrine when you go in and it gives you the title. And basically the first part of the puzzle is there's a pond of water, a ball that floats in the water, and above it, a little high off the ground is like this like pad that you need something to hit it with. And so I believe the goal is for you to be able to hit the ball into that, but you have to use like some kind of force or momentum. I'm not really sure what you needed to do. So instead I just attached a bomb to an arrow and I shot it at it. And that helped me get through all 3 rooms. Again, I'm not proud of it, but I'll take creativity points and my light of blessing to go with it. Unlike in like some of the other games where like being able to flip like in Tomb Raider up and over different areas, it just feels right. Like that just didn't feel good at all, but accomplished the problem. We've only got a little bit more to do. I'll agree with you on that. I don't feel ashamed, but I definitely didn't feel that it was, what's the word? Fluid. Let's go with that. Let us speed on over to the store real quick, now that we have some money, and see if there's anything we can buy. So we can get an ice lance. I don't know if we own these things. That's kind of like the problem of when you step away from characters you can't control. I end up buying things that I already have. But I'll take what I can get. Can you learn anything else? Excellent. So you know everything you need to know. Alright, we've got all the things that we can collect right now. I don't think there's anything for us to synthesize, for us to take on our way with us. We've made it all but the black belt. Okay, so naturally, I want it. And so I know we need we need the twist headbands, um, one to make it. So I'm gonna get the extra one now, and once we get enough money, we'll do that, and we'll keep on going along. There you go. Got the level up ability. What else can you learn? Just high tide. You learn jelly. We're almost at getting all of our abilities. Great. That creature we just killed kind of looks like one of the characters, like one of the bigger characters from Legend of Zelda. I don't know what they're called, but the lizard creatures, you know. They just look like the Bocha version. One of the really cool things that I loved about this game when I was younger was I had this on the PlayStation, and so there was a setting, I don't think it's in here on the computer. Oh no, this might be it. Nope, I'm all wrong. There used to be a setting where, oh man, I wish I could show it. But anyway, there used to be a setting on the PlayStation version of this game where it was like, it sort of made the game 2 players. Like up into that point, Final Fantasy had been very much like a 1-player game. But what you would be able to do is you'd be able to say, hey, I have these 2 controllers plugged into the PlayStation, and so I want these characters to be controlled by these certain controllers. So like if you had a party with, let's say, Zidane, Vivi, Freya, and Amarant, you could be with another person and say, you know what, you can play as Freya and Vivi and I'll control Zidane and Amarant in battle. It only applied to battles, but I just always thought it was like an interesting way to like do something. I don't know if it was intended for that purpose at all. But it was always something I was interested in. So I have younger siblings, and so of course they would want to play. And I remember, if anyone has younger siblings that wanted to play video games with you, you've probably done the trick where it's like, okay, like I have my controller, like here's yours, except, you know, it's not plugged in, or it's not turned on, or it doesn't have batteries, or it's synced to something else. It might not have been the nicest thing to do to a sibling, but usually the first few times you did it tricked them into thinking they were playing, or if they were young enough, they just wouldn't know any better to begin with. But, you know, I'm not too far in age for my siblings, and so like they very easily caught on that like when they were pressing a button, nothing was happening. So I used to let them pick one character, and like that would be the character they could do in battle. I did have to turn on the weight setting though, because I really couldn't rely on them to click the buttons quickly. But still thought it was pretty cool. And I thought it was just like an interesting feature that I've never seen happen again, because every other Final Fantasy since then, 10, 10-2, 13, their sequels, have just all been completely single player across the board. Which I don't think it needs to be more than one player. I just thought it was a nice little touch. I do agree that it's like very odd for like an active turn-based game. In Final Fantasy X it would have worked great because in Final Fantasy X it is truly turn-based. It's not that it's not always your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. Like speed plays a factor and like character stats depend like how many times they can go in a row or whatever. Like that could have benefited from, you know, a two controller setup option. Not that it needed to in any way, shape, or form, but it wouldn't have been the end of the world if they did it. It's been 3 years. But now I think it's time to go to the castle. But before we actually go and see her, the queen is coming. We'll see if we can go anywhere else first. Would you like to go to the harbor? Yeah, why not? Maybe there's something we can do out here. Oh, okay, so there's literally nothing down here for us to use. Maybe later. What we actually need is we need a Moogle. Oh, we found another stone. Which has the accuracy ability in it. Something to add later. But we need to find a Moogle because... Oh! What happened? Oh, it was horrible. He called me a liar. He's right, you are a liar. And a loudmouth. This is a royal castle. You do not belong here. Well, we're here to see the princess. You shall all wait right here. Oh! Oh! This is one of those examples where the game's window is supposed to be smaller than the way I have it set up. So, you know, the game is only yay wide. And technically there's a viewpoint beyond that, I guess, for this scene. So we're not supposed to be able to see Garnet and Beatrix fused as one creature with luscious locks. That's a cool little piece. Thank you for coming, everyone. She's regressed. Also, who meets somebody over a balcony like this? Have you nothing to say? No, I have nothing to add, because I'm a tongue-tied fool. And so are you, apparently. You're the queen, you could do whatever you want. But I won't be able to travel anymore. I wanted us to remain good rivals forever. It's because they both want the same mans, you know? Excuse me, Beatrix, you're supposed to keep walking and not merge into 3 people. I had a whole speech ready, but it would have been a lie. In my personal opinion, the trope of it's not you, it's me, you'd be better off without me is just it's such a bad take on trying to communicate concern. Like the point of generally relationships are that way you can do things together or at least be aware of what's happening. I hate when people do that. And now Aiko's an ally. She's like, I want him to be in love with her. She got over her feelings real quick. But the thieves are about. Who wrote you that love letter? This letter's getting around. Blank, I don't know if I'd consider you good looking. You do have a set of stitches going through 3 different sections of your face. Oh my god. And now he's found the letter. My goodness, this is a love letter. Did someone drop it knowing I'd pass by? And look who's here. Are they in love? Bro. In a weird turn of events, they somehow, someway found each other. I think what we'll do is we'll let all these lovers fade off into the distance until such a time. But we'll hear what Dr. Tot has to say before we go. I just don't think that's how a 6-year-old would talk. I've been rejected by the man I love. Of course, I came to talk to you about your home. Medane's sorry. And I wanted to ask you questions about it. So I'll tell you whatever you want to know. And naturally, we have to go to Gamble. We shall all go to Dr. Tot's home to party. Clowns on a dark night. It has been a while since we've seen Zorn and Thorn. No one is here. Is no one here really? They're such gimmick characters. We are going to ask Princess Garnet if we could return to the cap. That is bold. They not only like mutilated her, but they were just gonna straight up slit her throat and kill her. We can't stay here with these meddlers around. So instead of asking for forgiveness, they're just like, I'm out of here. I never knew about this secret passageway. Well, that's what makes it a secret. Let's go. Yes, send the children around medieval Vegas on their own. So we can play Dr. Tot if we really wanted to. But the next time we play, we'll just go through the actual tournament to see what happens. For right now, though, we're just gonna save. And I'll catch y'all next week where we'll do our card tournament and then we'll make our triumphant return to Alexandria after, what do you know? Things take a wrong turn with every plan that ever was, because Kuja's still alive. And if today's Mother's Day for you and you have a good relationship with your mom, I hope she's having a great day too. So I'll see you guys next time. If I can remember how to quit the game. There we go. All right, I'll see y'all next time. Thank you so much for hanging out, and hopefully see you next week.